the hidden battlefield of modern power. There are a lot of different ways a war can be fought. It's not just tanks and planes anymore. War today shows up in cyber attacks. It shows up in drones. It shows up in trade routes being choked off, in secret phone calls, in who controls oil, who controls water, and who controls the stories we hear every day on our phones. And what I want to do here is pull back the curtain on what I believe is happening, not just one story or one headline at a time, but the whole picture. Because when you zoom out, when you look at the patterns, it becomes very, very clear that the United States is positioning itself for something much bigger than what we're being told. We're watching an administration that is trying to dominate the Western world economically, militarily, digitally, and psychologically. And they're doing it while pretending to be the peacemaker. That's the part that really gets me, because on TV you'll hear, we're negotiating peace, we're avoiding war, we're strong, we're stable. But behind the scenes, behind the curtain, they're lighting fires everywhere and then handing themselves the fire extinguisher. And I want you to understand something. This isn't about politics. This is about power. This is about control for resources, oil, minerals, rare earths, and most importantly, water. And every move this administration is making, from Venezuela to Russia, to China, to Canada, to our own borders, fits into that much bigger pattern. Now, the national security strategy they just released late on a Friday night when nobody's paying attention basically lays out this vision in polite, sanitized language. It talks about flexible realism and projecting stability and preserving hemispheric leadership. Let me translate that for you in plain English. They're telling us they want to run the neighborhood. They want to write the rules, and they don't want anyone, not Europe, not NATO, not the United Nations, standing in their way. And that's why you're seeing this administration weaken NATO. That is why they're undermining their European Union, and that's why they double-crossed Ukraine with a 28-point Russian plan stamped it with the United States seal like it was ours. And while they're bragging on camera about toughness, we have a submarine off Russia's coast, don't test us. Behind closed doors, they're caught on transcripts making backroom deals with the very people they claim to be standing up to. This is abusive behavior logic. It's exactly how an abusive spouse talks. I'm protecting you while they're tightening control. I'm keeping you safe while they're isolating you from everyone who might help. And nowhere is that clearer than in what has been happening off the coast of Venezuela. Because let me tell you something, the story is not about fishermen, and it's not about drug boats. It's about leverage. It's about oil. It's about debt. And it's about a president who has already been named in international criminal filings from Venezuela for deporting their citizens and allowing them to be bartered like property between El Salvador and Caracas. And then, after those filings, we see the United States bombing Venezuelan boats and killing dozens of people, including survivors of the first strike. That's not strong leadership. That's the kind of thing that gets presidents hauled before international courts. And that is exactly what the White House is trying to avoid right now, which is why they've gone silent. So in this overview, I want you to hear me clearly. None of this is random. None of this is accidental. This is a coordinated strategy. Economic, military, digital, psychological, to dominate the Western Hemisphere and outmaneuver the rest of the world before the next global debt crisis hits. And I'm going to walk you through all of it, piece by piece in the sections that follow. But I want to start here. I'm just an American. I'm not better or worse than anyone else. I've lived some life. I pay attention. And I connect dots the way some people breathe. It's natural to me. What I'm seeing right now is a code red for our democracy. Not because we disagree politically, but because the very structure of power is shifting under our feet. So let's take a breath, step behind the curtain, and really look at what's going on. Because if we're going to save this democracy, we have to understand the game that's being played and the stakes we are all living with. This has been Behind the Curtain IMO. Thank you for watching this episode. If this message resonated with you, Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Every conversation helps us see more clearly, understand more deeply, and stand together more strongly. Join me for the next episode as we continue uncovering the pattern we were never meant to see. And as we take one more step toward the America we know is possible. Until then, stay aware, stay compassionate, and stay hopeful.